Good morning, everyone. We're about to bring you the latest COVID-19 UAE updates. However, if you found this podcast through an article, which so many of you are doing, please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts so you can get your Dubai news daily. Good morning, Dubai. How are you doing? Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through all the trending stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about. Today, of course, we're going to go through the new 4.5-day work week. Will it affect you? And also the new weekend in Dubai, which will be effective from January 1.
And we'll also be talking about UAE schools and universities will be following that 4.5-day work week from 2022.
An update which you may or may not already be aware of. You can now pay for parking using your WhatsApp. It's officially available and it's an absolute game changer.
And the UAE has released a new 50 dirham banknote.
The stories that came out yesterday, oh my days, the internet was shook. I don't know about you, but our DMs were lit with your updates. Let us know as we jump into the show. We can, as always, see your comments. We love to read them and we want to get your thoughts on the weekend shift. As we know, it's available for public entities. Whether or not it's going to be adjusted by all private sector, that remains to be seen. We'll get into all of that. But another story that shook us yesterday.
Oh my goodness, Casey, that is like, honestly, when I read it, I was just like, it is the worst position to be in, like where the employees were. So a CEO of better.com, he fired 900 employees via a Zoom call. And it's just, I mean,
way to be efficient.
Oh my God. To be on the other side of the call, it's just like, what just happened? You know, your full life falls apart in front of it. Like, it's just, oh.
And the way he starts it, so we're talking about Vishal Garg, who's CEO of better.com. He just started it with simply, this is not great news. And then he probably broke the hearts of hundreds and hundreds of people on a collective Zoom call. Where is the humanity? We have a little snippet here so you can just get an idea of what we're alluding to.
This isn't news that you're going to want to hear, but ultimately it was my decision and I wanted you to hear from me.
At least he's taking ownership. You know.
It's been a really, really challenging decision to make. This is the second time in my career I'm doing this and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. This time I hope to be stronger. If you're on this call, you are
oh my God, oh my God,
the unlucky group being laid off.
Oof.
No.
I just stopped it there.
Oh my God, this is like a reality show, like, you know, when they announce that you know, you have been terminated.
You have been eliminated.
Yeah, exactly.
You're one of the unlucky few. The thing is, like, I get that he wanted to take ownership and say, look, I'm going to talk to them individually. Like, it's literally someone's livelihood and potentially someone who's like supporting other people around them. You can't do that to 900 people as part. It just makes them feel like so insignificant.
Oh my God. But yeah, this is one of those things, right? Like, you've heard people go like, oh, my ex broke up with me over text, right? So it's like your employer letting you go via email or collective Zoom call. It's like
that's just added to that list of things that you just do not do.
Yeah, I think
that's so true.
You know, and especially when things have turned more remote recently and you can't have those face-to-face conversations that do with 900 employees, like his position can be quite different to what it's coming off as. But still, like whatever it may be, just that news of like a collective call with 900 employees all being letting go at once, it's like,
and it just shows no value to the person. Like, you don't know if that person has worked in that company for 1, 2, 5, 10 years. And if in the case that a company has to let someone go, usually there's a human element of, you know, of course, the reason here was financial, but usually there's a human element of like, but we still value you as a person. And there can be some like personal, like uplifting that although we're letting you go, you're still great because you need to, you know, the sandwich, like bad, good, bad, good.
Yeah.
But in this case, there was no sandwich because it wasn't personal at all.
Yeah, oh my God. But hopefully those employees got recommendations and just a good reference letter.
And their like lower level manager had a better chat with them.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's what one would hope.
Let's jump into the news that broke the internet yesterday. The UAE is going to have a new 4.5-day work week. So yesterday the internet was shook and it continued to shake with the news that the UAE government and federal entities will adopt a new 4.5-day working week starting from January 1, 2022, and that also means a long weekend. The move applies to federal government entities and comes alongside new working hours, which were also announced yesterday. So the new timeline for governments to work during the week is Monday to Thursday, starting at 7:30, ending at 3:30. And then their Friday working hours, which brings it to a 4.5-day working week, will be from 4:30 to 12. It's also worth noting that they announced the new times for Friday sermon and prayers, and they'll be held after 1:15 all year long in the UAE, starting from January 1.
And government staff will have the flexibility to make arrangements to work from home on Fridays, as well as to arrange their working hours on a flexi-time basis. And of course, the Emirates is the first nation in the world to introduce a national working week shorter than the global 5-day week. And the extended weekend comes as part of the UAE and the government's efforts to just boost work-life balance and enhance social well-being while increasing performance to advance the UAE's economic competitiveness, basically. So that's I mean, you know, a lot of people have different views about this, just like how it's going to roll out, and it's going to roll out in phases. Like it's just very, like, it's just common sense, right? Like, it's going to roll out in phases, not going to be rolled out all together. It's going to take time for everyone to get used to this.
For the private sector.
Yeah, for the private sectors. And every, you know, just information everywhere to get updated about timings, about working days. Just, it's going to take a while. And we've seen this happen back like a couple of years ago when the weekend was Wednesday, Thursday, and then changed to Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, that was well before my time. I think people actually forget that the UAE has already made a shift. And when they made it, it was also followed in the region. Because right now we're matched with Saudi, we're matched with Egypt in our weekend days. But back when that shift happened, back 2006, 7, 8-ish, there was also a shift then. And now we're coming in line with global standards. Now, it's worth noting that this is just for the public sector, the government entities. But will we see the private sectors adjust? They are being urged to, but at the moment, it looks like it's at the decision of the private sectors. And actually what we did was we spoke to our CEO, Richie, CEO of Augustus Media, a small private sector company, to get his thoughts and feelings of it as the news broke yesterday. So here's what we heard.
The timing of it, a few weeks before it's going to be implemented, is more of a realization to how nimble the decision making is and how adaptable you need to be running any business in this day and age. We've all been through the pandemic, so switching work shifts and days and times won't be too hard for anyone. I don't think so. And us particularly, it won't impact massively because we do have resource and teams working in different offices and different times most days of the week. I think it's a healthy, fresh start. I think it's positive for business. I think it will stimulate the economy even more, be more aligned with other countries and then the global scale. So I think.
So that is literally also kind of in line with what the government said, is that yes, it's going to stimulate the economy because we're coming in line with other countries. It's also, by the way, a very interesting update for family. Because look, they're moving to a 4.5-day work week. 4.5 days. Can we get that too?
Oh, I know. 4.5 days, honestly. But I think Rich summed it up so perfectly. Like, it's got its pros and cons, and then a fresh start, like, obviously. But then it comes with all of its, like, you know, you have to make the logistical arrangements and so many things that go behind it. It's not just like, oh, this is the weekend and it's done.
Yeah, well, the KHDA, which we're going to talk a lot about in a second, which is the UAE or the Dubai School governing body, they just kind of said that we're going to fall in line. So they're following what the public sector are doing, and then potentially that's what private sectors will do to readjust. But it will be, and the question that a lot of people have is public sector going to switch? And is the private sector going to switch? And will we get those 4.5 days?
Yeah.
Because what the government said was switching to those 4.5 days for family, it's just really beneficial for families. They've been piloted and trialed these shorter working weeks around the world, and we're the first nation in the world to implement it. And it brings more flexibility for families and for communities. It opens up new leisure and lifestyle options and contributes most importantly to health and well-being. That comes from the government, and it's so fantastic, it's so positive. So let's just see if private sector falls in line.
Oh, yes.
And the memes, by the way, the memes were fantastic yesterday.
Yes. Did you see the one of like 3-4 news headlines and just this one person standing in front of a huge wave?
No.
And like UAE residents yesterday with like 20,000 updates, like life-changing updates. And there's like this big tide in front of her and she's just looking at it like, wow. I think all of us, basically.
Yeah, 100%. It was such a massive news for yesterday. And then, of course, one of the big questions was, are schools going to follow?
Exactly. And more on that, we'll tell you now. So 2022 is clearly the year for UAE peeps, and UAE schools and universities will follow a 4.5 day work week from January 1st, 2022. January 2nd, actually, because January 1st will be a holiday. Now, the Knowledge and Human Development Authority, KHD, have confirmed that the private education sector in Dubai will open in line with a recent UAE government decision on the working week. And we'll be working closely with the community to ensure a smooth transition. Now that means all schools and university students will come back from the winter break to a 4.5 school days. And the revised school and university timings include, so Monday to Thursday will be a full day. Fridays will be a half day, which will start from 7:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. And Saturday and Sundays will be the weekend. So a lot of pressing questions, and one Lovin Dubai follower, she commented and asked, will they reduce school fees?
Great question.
Honestly, like,
will they reduce salaries?
Casey, why would you ask that?
It's the same question.
You really think for 4.5 days, like, people won't be doing overtime? Come on.
It's literally the same question. If you're going to reduce school fees because the kids are going to have less time under the supervision at school, surely it's the same question, will you reduce salaries? I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, will salaries reduce because they're expected to be at work less? Or would the hours shift so you start at 7 and finish at 3:30?
Wow.
What?
No one wanted to see that question coming, and I don't think anyone was hoping someone would ask that.
It was a massive question yesterday because, of course, 4.5 day work week is the dream. 4-day work week is the dream. But if that means reduced salary, would you take it?
But I feel like a lot of companies would work around it. Like, okay, half day, but until this time you can work from home or you can work remotely. I think a lot of entities will come up with, things to work around that. What do you feel?
As in more flexible working options?
Yeah. Just for the 4th day.
The fifth day. Well, that's what the public sector have done. They've introduced those flexible working options on the 5th day to work from home. Yeah. I think, again, it totally depends on your company because private sectors have the option to make those rules.
Yeah.
So it totally depends.
Yeah, I mean, only time can tell. Like, it's going to be rolled out in phases, of course, and then we'll see how different companies take this new change on board. But a lot of people have questions. Like, if you go onto KHDA's in social pages, or if you go onto Lovin Dubai social pages and just check out the comments, people have so many questions. Like, one person is like, why don't we consider running schools from home on Fridays? Like, just not have kids go to school on Fridays at all. And then some are like,
why don't we just not go to school?
Someone actually said,
well, no, what?
Oh, I beg you, no homework. Since we're changing the weekends, let's just cancel the whole concept of homework.
Genius, why not?
Exams, just no studies, no exams, no homework.
I think we have to remember that all of these rules, or the new shift has a massive, first of all, thought process behind it, and the fact that it brings us in line with global weekends makes so much sense for tourism, for business, and it also, the 4.5 week brings more flexibility for families. There's a massive thought process. Cancelling homework? Yes, Ali?
Someone actually has a good point
on
TikTok.
Oh.
He said, I have a feeling the private sector will give you a choice of a lower salary and less working hours, but at the same time offer the same salary with the previous working hours.
I don't know.
Huh. I mean, if I was a CEO...
that would be an option. I just wonder. I don't know. I don't think well, maybe flexible. Who's to know? Please put us, like, for example, there's so many questions about how this is going to roll out. What we know so far is it is the law for public sector beginning January 1, 2022. For the private sector, they have been urged to readjust, but as the news came out yesterday, how the potential readjusting will happen is still up in the air. If you are a private sector owner, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear about how you think you would like it to roll out. Now, while all this was going on yesterday, there was also massive news because McGettigan's dropped the bombshell that they're going to have the first official Sunday roast dinner in Dubai.
Wow. They are fast.
They're on the ball.
Oh my God.
I do love a Sunday roast. It's weird. Going back to that. I've just adjusted to Friday, Saturday, and I'm just shift back. That's amazing.
Like it's really it messes with the mind, you know. Like the Friday brunch is now the Saturday brunch.
No, Dubai problems mean it's Friday and Saturday. It's genius. And while all of this is going on, apart from the McGettigan Sunday announcement, also the RTA made a pretty significant announcement too. You can pay for your parking using WhatsApps. No more text messages that cost you money. The initiative was announced at GITEX in October, but it's now fully implemented. It's fully in force, and it's very, very easy to use. When you check your updates, you simply need to add the RTA's chatbot, which is called Mahboob, to your phone on a specific number. That's 058 800 9090. And then every single time you pay for parking, you'll be saving 30 fils on your SMS messages, which is what they cost before. Someone literally sent me that number, added it to my contacts. RTA came up. I now have RTA in my phone. So now I'm never going to have to be like, oh, what's the number? Because it's there.
That is
so helpful.
Pure genius, honestly. Like, it is such a lifesaver that also when your parking is expiring, it's just so convenient because you're always on WhatsApp. Like no one uses text messages as much in Dubai. Like, you're always on WhatsApp, Instagram, like
apart from ads.
Oh yeah.
I have 900 messages on a phone I started 3 days ago.
But SMS ads.
It's because one day when you were shopping at a random store in Mall of the Emirates and they said, can we take your number? And you're like, sure.
Oh my.
Signed your life away. That's how it happens.
Oh, that number got passed around, and well, now you see what your SMSs are like. But this is amazing. Like, as a new driver, Casey, you're coming on the roads at the perfect time.
Yes, that's true.
What's happening with your driving, by the way?
My driving, I have my first initial test tomorrow morning with Galadari. And I didn't have an official lesson for a week, so I'm just kind of practicing. And yeah, I'm not confident.
Is it parking?
No, it's the actual driving.
Oh my God! So you passed parking? You passed?
No,
all
I haven't
the other
passed
tests?
anything yet. This is the first one.
So this is the actual road test?
No, this is the initial driving test with Galadari. You have to pass with them before you move on to RTA. So it's like a long road of like 4 more tests.
Oh.
I'm expecting to be doing it until I'm about 80. So if anyone has any tips, if anyone knows anyone who can pass me, that would be ideal.
Just keep checking all your mirrors. Like, literally like a peacock neck, just keep checking all the mirrors.
Will do.
Pigeon neck. Yes, that's the word. Because I failed 4 times for mirror checking, and I was driving a manual, and they failed me for mirrors. Annoying. Not mirrors. Like side, yeah, mirrors. Anyway, guys, moving on to our next huge update. The UAE releases a new 50 dirham banknote. So on Tuesday, December 7, 2021, the UAE issued a brand new 50 dirham banknote to honor the former UAE President Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan bin Nahyan on the occasion of the country's 50th National Day. And now the newly launched 50 dirham note will go into circulation nationwide and will be available across central banks and ATM machines in the near future. And the original 50 dirham note, so more on that, which was released back in May 20th, 1973, and marked its last day yesterday, December 7th, 2021, RIP, adorned the face of an Arabian oryx, which is the UAE's national animal, on one side, and the print of the Al-Jahili fort on the other side. And now the new 50 dirham banknote features the founding father, Sheikh Zayed, as well as other founding rulers. But apart from the prominent figures, the note also features various national and historical monuments.
UAE leaders and crown princes were present at the launch event, so you know it's a big deal, as the note was revealed in the presence of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. Also in his presence was His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who is, as you know, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces. And as you can see the visuals, if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, if you're new to the show, jump onto Facebook. That's where it's all going down. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can see the visuals of another launch. So UAE 50 dirham notes, pay for parking on WhatsApp. And of course, a new weekend for Dubai all yesterday. It was impossible to keep up. We're about to jump into our interview. We're going to be joined by Dean Munro, a Dubai dad who's released a children's book in memory of his little baby boy Monty, who died at just 10 weeks old. Stay tuned for that. He'll be with us in about 30 seconds and we'll see you then. Lovin Extra is here. This is the new membership, and while absolutely nothing changes for our readers, extra members get access to premium content, exclusive competitions, and first look for tickets and access to the coolest events across the city, and Lovin merch. If you subscribe right now, a very cool Lovin Red Eco Water bottle will be delivered to your door. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. We are now joined by Dean Munro, a Dubai dad, who has released a children's book in memory of his little baby boy Monty, who died at just 10 weeks old. First of all, very, very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story and to hopefully continue to share your story and why that message is important. First of all, can you tell us what happened to Monty?
So Monty was born with basically a rare disease which we didn't know about, X-linked myotubular myopathy, which affects all the muscles in his body, meaning he was unable to breathe on his own. So from literally the moment he came into the world, he was put straight away on a life support machine to assist with his breathing, and he stayed on that for 10 weeks. There is no cure for this disease. There was no way of knowing he had this disease. It was a pure mutation during the pregnancy, nothing that came from my wife or myself, so it was just a pure mutation.
The moment he was born, is that when you found out?
It actually took 6 weeks. We had to have all these tests sent off to Germany. All the tests they were doing here in Dubai were coming back normal. Everything was coming back normal. So, like, we couldn't get our head around it. I just kept saying for weeks and weeks, I was just saying, my son's weak. I said, he's going to be strong. I said, look at me. I said, I'm 6'3". I said, my son is going to be big. I said, just keep giving him milk. Just keep giving him milk. He just needs to rest, and he'll get bigger, and he'll be fine. I said to him, I said, we'll be out of here in 2 weeks. I said, we'll be out of here. But it wasn't until 6 weeks later, when the test came back from Germany, we got the diagnosis, and that was the point where we knew how serious it was.
So he was never able to leave the hospital?
He never left the hospital. We only saw his face after he died because of all the tubes and everything that he had in him.
What hospital was it?
It was, oh my goodness. Have I forgot? Down in
Medi
Clinic. I can't believe it.
You can go back to it in a second. This is
obviously amazing hospital though.
But this is obviously a difficult story to be sharing publicly, which is amazing that you're doing it. And tell us why making a storybook in Monty's memory was important.
It sort of helped me deal with it. It helped me deal with the loss of my son. I mean, nothing will ever replace him, but from someone who doesn't, I'm not a writer, I don't particularly read anything. For me, one day after he passed away, I sat at home and these words just came into my head, and I just put it on paper, and it just kept coming. And one book happened, and then another book, and then went back to England. My wife was putting my daughter to bed, and that's when I wrote this book here, Monty's First Christmas. This book came to my brain in about 20 minutes. This whole book, the imagery and everything was pen to paper.
It's called Monty's First Christmas. And when did this happen?
Well, this book got released about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it's quite a good response as well so far.
And one thing that I read that I thought was particularly heartbreaking was that during the time in the hospital, you were rarely allowed to hold him.
We actually only held him first time after 2 weeks. Was the first time we held him, because he had so many cables, and it was crucial that, you know, if these cables came out, he couldn't breathe. Like his muscles didn't work. So for us to hold him every day, it was, you know, we needed 3 nurses there to come to
Oh
help
my
to lift him
God.
over. We didn't have to have all the tape strapped to us. You'll see photos.
That was
on
the
our
only
social
way
media.
to hold him.
That was the only way
Your
we could
poor
hold him.
wife.
Yeah, and it, you know, skin to skin was a big thing for us, and that's why I was like, we need to be I need to put him on my chest. I need to have him on me, and we couldn't do. He was in an incubator for the first 2 weeks. After a week, I think I was able to give him a kiss. Like first time I was able to kiss him. But yeah, it was a long time before we got to him, and after that it was very difficult.
And you were reading him stories at the time.
Every night I'd go in there, read him stories. I'd read him books, and it was just my way of communicating with him. Just sitting there at night for 2 hours. We was allowed there between 10 to 12 in the morning, and then 5 till 7 in the afternoon. My daughter, unfortunately, she only was able to meet him once because we weren't allowed to have visitors coming in, so she met him once, and it just gave me a bit of like joy, a bit of one-on-one time to sit there and just read with him and just know that he could hear me. We never heard him cry, so we never heard his voice. You know, we didn't see he couldn't cry because obviously he had the tube in his throat the whole time, and there was a lot of things that we didn't do.
And when you got the test results from Germany, did you then realize the severity?
That was the point. That was, apart from the day he died, that was the worst day. I will never forget walking into that room. We had 6 or 7 nurses, specialists, and I just grabbed my wife's hand and I was like, this isn't going to be good.
And dealing with loss is hard for anyone. And I think putting these stories into paper is your way of doing so. 100%.
It's just helped me, and I could sort of like this book about him and Christmas. It's how I imagined him. So the books are based around him being sort of 3 or 4 years old. Obviously, at 10 weeks old, he wouldn't be able to do anything. So like, you know, he's writing Christmas lists. I've got one of his first day of school. It's a football match. One of his adventures to the zoo.
Wow.
All these books, and they're of him where he's in an age where he can actually do activities and you know, do these things. So it's how I envisioned him. You know, if he was with me still, doing these adventures, and then it just helped. Like it's really helped me in like a way I can't explain. This come directly from life experience, from the heart. It's not, you know, I wasn't trained to do this.
It's just when loss strikes, or when something that's out of the ordinary strikes, it's, I guess, finding people that you can share your story with. And you mentioned before we came on the show that, you know, you've spoken to people who are dealing with different things. Because is there like, you know, is there a community that you're able to talk to? Because one of the things that you're passionate about is men talking more. So how do you make that happen?
I'm just, you know, I say to people, like, I've met a few people, and they are in different places to me, like mentally, with things. And as I say, there's no right or wrong way. Life doesn't teach you this. Life teaches you that as you get older, people die. You know, grandparents, aunts, uncles. There's no manual for losing your child. It's the worst thing that could happen to any human. And when I meet with these people, like they're different to me, but I just try and, if you talk, you're releasing something that's inside you needs to come out. You can't build up all this thing, because you're going to hurt yourself, and you're potentially going to hurt other people by not talking. I mean, there's no sort of community or groups or things like that. I mean, there's you know, some Facebook groups and things, but I get messages on Instagram and things like that. But as I say, it's just talking. Talking is the key thing. If you bottle it up, and it's going to end badly. It will do, and you need to talk. That's the only advice that I can give to people is to talk, whether it be to your wife or your friend or, you know, your parents. I used to, you know, my wife said sometimes that I didn't talk to her enough, and that's true, because I didn't want to.
Imagine you need to communicate with your partner. You're learning that, because there's no manual for that.
So there isn't, and you know, I deal with it differently. I'd sometimes get in my car and put the music up, and you know, go for a drive and listen to music, and have a you know, I'd break then and have a cry and deal with that. I'd bring my friends up in the UK and my parents, because none of these people ever met him. Do you know what I mean? All these people that knew about Monty and loved him so much all over the world. You know, we had friends, family everywhere, but no one met him. But this boy had so much love in his direction. And, yeah.
Look, the the loss of a child is a cross a parent should never have to bear. So our thoughts are really, really with you. And as we know in Dubai, all our families are abroad. So how you just described that, I can't even imagine how heartbreaking it is for your wider family to cope.
Yeah.
So this is sharing his memory.
It is.
And it's the first of a number of books that are going to be released. Monty's First Christmas coming out right before the holidays. How can people find it?
So this is on Amazon. It's on Waterstones as well. We've actually got a shop in Dubai Mall. It's going to be in there very soon. And Author House. Yeah, I mean, if you go onto Google and type in Monty's First Christmas or my name, Dean Monroe, then it comes up within the first 2 search bars.
Awesome. Well done. What a fantastic way to keep the memory alive.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time. See you tomorrow. Guys, that is a wrap for the Lovin Daily. We are back same time, same place every weekday morning. And of course, don't miss the Lovin Show every Tuesday where I chat with Dubai personalities. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have a great day.